My name is Hank Thomas, and I was one of the 13 original Freedom Riders. There were six whites on the Freedom Ride and 7 blacks. We would sit together, black and white, to test whether or not states were complying with the laws which says racial discrimination in interstate transportation is no longer legal. Like all the other places, there have been some changes. And I've been back to Anniston, Alabama. But I then knew that Anniston was a terrible, terrible place. It was a place where there was lots of Klan activity. Probably within a couple of miles of Anniston, things got very quiet. When we hit the city limits of Anniston and into the downtown area, it was deserted. The bus pulls into the bus station, and there we saw the mob. The bus driver got off the bus quickly, and I don't blame him for it. He said, "Boys, here they are. I just drove the bus." He fixed the door so as he closed it, it was locked, so they could not get onto the bus to get us, but they started breaking out the windows, and another bus driver, and I'm pretty sure he had to be convinced, came around the driver's side and I guess reached in the window and unlocked the door, then got aboard and closed the door right quick. And we did not know it at the time, but somebody had cut one of the tires. After a few miles, I started hearing, and we all heard that flop, flop, flop sound, which says that the tire is going flat. The rest of the mob and the KKK started again breaking out the windows. The bus driver again got off the bus, and it was at that time that an incendiary device was thrown aboard the back of the bus. In a few seconds, the bus was on fire, and it's filling up with smoke. If we got off of that bus, there was no doubt in my mind that we would have been killed. I decided that the best way to die was to die on the bus, and you do that by taking a big gulp of air of this poisonous smoke. And I thought, naively so, that that would put me to sleep, and that's the way I was going to die. Luckily for us, the fire that had started in the rear ignited the fuel tank in the back of the bus, and it blew out. And when it blew out, everybody scattered, stumbling, coughing. And after about 2 or 3 minutes on the ground, a man came up to me and said, "You all right, boy?" And I just nodded my head, and he hit me with something and knocked me to the ground. By this time, one state trooper was on the scene. He wasn't doing anything, and we got up, and about 3 or 4 guys were coming at me again, and I'm looking at the trooper, and he's not doing anything. Well, when you put your hands on a white man, just like putting your hands on a white woman, you are in big trouble. And here's this man that had this gun. And I literally grabbed him around the waist to use him as a shield. He pulls his gun. I thought he was going to shoot me. And he fired his pistol in the air, and he said, "That's enough. That's enough. Y'all back off. You've had your fun. Back off." Now the full effects of that smoke has gotten to all of us. And you want water and air, and the smoke is in your lung. And so little girl, her name was Janie Forsythe at the time, kept running in and out of her house, bringing us water. No one else did a thing. Ambulance came. State laws of Alabama said a white ambulance company cannot transport a black person. When they said, "We're going to take the white people, but we can't take the blacks," and our Freedom Riders comrades said, "If you can't take them, then we're not going either." Then they called a black ambulance company. Same rules applied to him. He could not take white people. So finally, the state trooper, and I guess after conferring with higher-ups, ordered the ambulance company to take us to the hospital. Same problem at the hospital. 2 emergency rooms, one for whites, one for black. They were not going to treat us in the whites-only emergency room unless we go around to the black emergency room. So the same thing with the white Freedom Riders. They says, "We're not going." Mob comes to the hospital. Hospital locks its doors. Called the hospital people, told them to send us out, put us out. And of course we said, "We're not going. We're not going out to certain death." And then they threatened to burn the hospital. And I think it was there that Governor Patterson, after Attorney General Robert Kennedy and even the president had intervened, and the governor assured the Attorney General that the Klan would not interfere and that the Highway Patrol would give us protection. And that's how we got out of Anniston.